William Ruto saying we need 2 permanent seats and additional 2 non-permanent seats. I mean, they are crying, but we are hoping that there can be a reform within the United Nations. That's it. Council made it. Yes, council made it. Yeah, yeah. So, yes, council. Good morning. It's great to have
Morning.
you.
I said I was teaching, so I had another compelling duty to teach young Liberian lawyers. So I had to do that.
Okay.
I come from the new law school, the
Okay.
Liberian School of Law.
You're always talking about our new law school. How is it?
It's great. I mean, our first year students went abroad and defeated people. Some of them third year students. So we're not doing badly in our new law school. So at least we have 2 law schools in Liberia. I'm teaching at both of them. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us. Even though you have other tight schedules, but you still,
Made it.
made it to be here.
Yeah.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine, and good to see you in a new seat because I used to see you in the other seat. At
Yes,
Chief
and there was some kind of miscommunication about the appearance, and I was like, oh, something is.
No, I told
Yeah.
my man I was coming here, but he got. I
Okay,
think because he
that's
got
it.
it and didn't see me, he thought I
Oh,
was.
I see. Yes, but it's great. A lot of things have been happening, and you've talked about some of them. The one you were really strong about recently has been this allegation on the head of the deputy youth sports minister, and you were really vocal about it. I want us to start with that.
I'm still vocal on it. I'm really angry personally because, as an actor in the criminal justice system, I was Solicitor General for nearly 4 years.
Okay.
And I argued rape cases before the Supreme Court. And none of those cases took the kind of time that this time the case is taking. And rape is a major issue in this country, all over the country. And so to treat one like this is setting a very bad precedent. Way back in 1898, I brought our case before the Supreme Court in the Musa Salman Falah case. In 2007 or thereabout, 2007, 2008. In 1898, Liberian men have been bad ever since. A grown man of stature in the community, one Coleman, raped a 14-year-old girl in 1898. That matter went before the Supreme Court. And what did the Supreme Court say? His defense was, she's making an allegation, there is no corroboration. Who saw me? What evidence does she have to back what she's saying? The Supreme Court said the investigation showed that she has scratches and she had torn dresses. And the Supreme Court made a rule. Say the rule of evidence in rape cases is the allegation made, the statement made by the victim, and the scratches and torn dress, whatever is on the person, corroborating evidence is sufficient for you to be convicted. That evidence, that law, that particular case has been relied on by the Supreme Court from 1898 up to present. It has not been recalled. So DNA is now one of the elements in our rape investigation. All right. So I'm really surprised that the police is setting a different standard when it comes to deputy minister. And they are creating a difficulty for the foot police officers, the ordinary police officers who are the ones that will go and arrest people who are accused of rape. Because the next time they go to West Point, or I like to mention West Point because it's well known, or Buzekota, any of those areas, to arrest a young man for rape, they'll say, where's the DNA result first?
Okay.
Law must be, the law is the law and must be for everyone. Equally, Article 11C of the Constitution says that everyone is entitled to equal protection. It means equal application of the law, equal benefit of the law. Why are they creating something that is not provided for in the law for him? Look, if today the police come and say, oh, our evidence shows that the deputy minister was not connected to the rape, nobody in Liberia will believe the police because of the time it's taken. From August 30th to present, almost 1 month. Up to yesterday, I asked whether he was in police custody. And from the police, from here, I'll go check again. They say you are not in police custody. You know, rape, then they say you're not a flight risk. Anyone accused of murder, treason, rape is a potential flight risk because you'll go to jail for life if you are found guilty. So why will you sit? Especially when you know that you did the act.
So someone put up an argument that in the past this haphazard way of going about the rape investigation and stuff has been the reason why the state even lost some cases, but they believe that there should be proper investigation done, sufficient evidence gathered before people are even arrested and taken to court. What do you say to such argument?
You know, when they say time in law is reasonable time, and I think 3 weeks to a month is unreasonable time for that investigation. All that is required of the police is to arrest people based on probable cause.
Okay.
Improbable cause is the reason for putting people in custody. Proving a case belongs to the trial in court to have somebody. So they're setting a different standard. I teach criminal procedure law. I've been teaching them for nearly 10 years. I even teach at the police academy when they invite me. Many of the senior police officers now were taught by me at the police academy on legal framework for policing. I kept telling them, you should tell them probable cause. Don't arrest anyone without probable cause. Is there a probable cause to arrest the deputy minister? My answer is yes. So the fact that he's not arrested is wrong. Wrong procedure. They're not applying the law.
What would that mean in the future? In case it may not be top official or big person in the society, but any other person.
So anywhere now, if they come to your community and somebody just suspect that you sitting to you that you somebody say you rape and they want to arrest you, your community will resist even without your support. They say no. Where is the DNA? You'll go do the investigation. Where is the DNA result? So they are creating difficulties for the police officers who are out there, not the big shots. The big shots are in the police station. They're way up there. And I taught some of them even in the law school. Mm-hmm. You know, one of them is going to law school now. I call him and say, what are you? You're going the wrong way. That's not a criminal procedure that I taught. Yeah, and I've been in the system. I was Solicitor General for nearly 4 years. Look, when my good friend Senator Roland Khan was connected or allegedly connected to the Margibi massacre where they killed about 20 persons from Margibi, and the chief investigator at that time was Sam Saye. He came to me. He said, "Oh, SG, we have a problem." I said, "What is the problem?" "We have the other people in the police cell. We got all the people, but they told us that a big man is connected." I would say, "Who the big man?" They say, "Senator Roland Khan." I said, "Nobody's above the law. From this office, you'll go arrest him right now." "Oh, but SG, and you don't think the Ministry of Justice should write the Senate to ask special permission for us to?" I said, "No, the law does not provide for that. The law is the law. And the law is not a law if some people are above it. Everybody is under the law. So, they'll go arrest him." I said, don't enter the section to arrest him. Just wait outside. And they went there, the waiter outside. When he came from section, they arrested him right there. Some of his colleagues followed him to the police station. But he was arrested, handcuffed, like any of the suspects. And one day when I went to Temple of Justice while the kids were on, I saw him sitting in the front of the pickup. I said, "Mr. Kante, what did you do?" "Oh, that senator." I said, No. Right now, his name has changed. He's a defendant. And as a co-defendant, the same way you got him put at the back of the pickup, put him at the back of the pickup, handcuff him along with the people at the back of the pickup, so that the Liberian people can see him at the back of the pickup, handcuffed, going to jail. When big people fall under the law, it can make it easier for small people to respect the law, because at the reference they say, I better not engage in this kind of thing. You see that kind of man or the, and so President Tubman actually set the example. In 1978, President Talbot executed a Talbot, William Talbot, who was accused of killing his wife. He was tried in the lower, he was arrested by the police, investigated, tried in the lower court, found guilty, went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court affirmed the judgment that he was guilty of murder. At the same time, President Talbot, the government had on trial Yancey, representative from Maryland County, the superintendent James Anderson, the city mayor, the supervisor of school, a lot of people, big people from Maryland were on trial for ritualistic killing. So they brought a death warrant to him. And on television he said, Bill, you and myself are called William Talbot. You are William Talbot and William Talbot. One family. You're younger than me. If I heard you were named after me. But I took oath to obey, defend, promote, and execute the Constitution and statute laws of Liberia. The hour has come for me to abide by my oath of office. He says, so I can grant you pardon. I can grant pardon, but not in your case. Mm-hmm. He says, so as pastor of the Baptist Church in Bentonville, I will pray for God to receive your soul. And I was sad. Mm-hmm. What did he do on television for us to see on the dormitory at that time? That was to show the seriousness of his commitment to applying the law. He didn't have to do it that way. He just needed a son. So after he prayed and he said, as soon as he finished praying, he took a pen and signed. And Bill started crying. That was Thursday. Friday night, the Talbot family went to Monrovia Central Prison. At that time, they used to hang. Now we don't hang. Mm. And they had a whole night of wake for him. At 5:45, I understand the sheriff came for him and took him on a gallows, put the white cloth around him, his head, put the noose around his neck, and exactly at 6 o'clock they withdrew the plank and he was hanging from 6 to 6. But if President Talbot had not set that precedent, if he had not done that, when they found Yancey and Anderson him guilty, it would have been difficult for him to execute them. Because the poor Maryland, in fact, the poor Liberia said, oh, you can't execute Talbot, but you can execute other people. It will not happen. But because he executed a Talbot, when he executed the rest of these 7 people from Maryland, big shots, the country was quiet, nothing happened. That is what happens when you enforce the law properly and you don't make exception, you apply the law equally to everybody.
So why you think the McGill case is going the way it is going? If I may call it investigation.
I understand he was one of the strong campaigners for the government in power, the party in power. So it's all been political. There's no legal justification. And when there's no legal justification, it has to be based on relationship. And that relationship is more political. In fact, I was surprised that he had to take leave. Yeah?
Leave of absence.
I'm taking leave of absence to give chance for the investigation to go on. And then I came on the radio and said, but that man should be fired. Because ministers serve at the will and pleasure of the president, and you have to keep yourself above certain perceptions. Just the fact. And his position, his case is just so bad. He was deputy minister for youth development. Mm-hmm. In my view, he became a deputy minister for youth destruction. Yeah?
Youth destruction?
Youth destruction. Not that deed and not development, that destruction. Because it
has not been proven that he did that.
Well, it is alleged that for whatever he did is towards youth destruction. He should not be associated with anything like that. And look, from my experience as a prosecutor, as Solicitor General, there were cases where mature women would be accused of lying. The police would say, oh, the person sat in the car and said, oh, the man owed me. I did not come across any case of a little girl lying on a big man.
Okay.
As young as 5 years old, testifying in court. And it would say that man put his tutu in my tata. There was one case in Bon County like that. Big man sitting in court, they thought the little girl would be afraid to get
And they can say that.
Yes. And when the jury were in the room of deliberation, they didn't even take 5 minutes because that testimony was so powerful. Young children don't lie on being raped.
So in a minute or two, where do you stand now on this matter?
I am calling upon the police to have this man arrested and put in jail like they do to everybody else. The credibility of the police stands on this. You know, if they are not able to do this, and rape is a major case in this country in terms of the frequency of rape all over the country. It's just that not all the information comes there. But when the information like this comes, you know, when a big man, like I was saying, is prosecuted, a lot of young unknown people get scared because they know that the law is strong. The fact that it can be applied against a big person. So I'm calling upon the police today to have that man behind the bars. Because, you know, I asked doctors, they say it takes 90 minutes to get DNA result. But right now, there's no facility for doing DNA in Liberia even. So they take the specimen and send it to Ghana or to the United States or somewhere else. But even there, before they send it back, in 90 minutes, wherever it is going, they should be able to tell you by telephone or by email
What the results are.
This is the result. The person is guilty or not guilty. And then you arrest the person because all you're doing is to have stronger evidence, although DNA is not required in proving rape. All right? Especially where, like I said, the standard in the Coma versus RL case, and where the girl has not changed, she still maintains that it is this man that sexually abused me, not one time. You know? So that's I call it selective justice, and it undermines justice and undermines the error in the arrest agenda, which is rule of law.
Okay. Well, you raised concern about this recent issue at AML. There's this back and forth with some lawmakers. One of our senators from the county, Senator Tiawan from the county, has been raising issues. We saw a team of senators who said they were from a joint committee who have gone to do an assessment, but there have been this back and forth press conference. Senator Newman Batikwa spoke about it, and other senators have been talking about it. Sir Joseph spoke on Radio Kakema in Ganta and all of that. Are you concerned about this?
You know, you don't politicize contract. Contracts have terms. And I strongly believe that what Senator Tiawan is saying is this company is not abiding by the terms of the contract and wants an extension. Let's review and find out whether it has been abiding by the terms of the contract. Simple. It shouldn't be a debatable issue. It's a yes or no answer. Has it been abiding by the contract? Because for you to extend, you have to show that you have met your obligations under the contract, the first contract you signed. Now, when I was on the contracting team, the review team, and we should have gone 3 times in New York. When I went the first time, I strongly believe because I gave Mr. Singh, who was representing Middle State, a hard time. I was asking tough questions, put him on the ground, until he got it. He said, but then we'll leave Liberia. I said, leave. The iron will still be there. Some members of my team were like, oh, you can't talk like that. They think that from your country, the people get job there and all of that. When we came back here, I felt I was betrayed by some members of the team because when we came back here, Senator Adolfo Dolo, he's still alive, came to my office. He said, oh, my papa, the people say you're the stumbling block. Oh. I said, how will I be the stumbling block? I'm just that depletable resource. When they dig that iron out of the ground, it's gone forever. They're not tree that you can plant. So I am talking for the interest of the Liberian people that must get the best out of it. See bombing holes there. So why would they say, I'm the stumbling block? And of course, some people told me at the place that we're talking, say, oh, some people gathered when Mr. Singh was working out as a lawyer and know that negotiating tactics. They actually ran behind the man, petting them. Oh, Mr. Singh, come back. I said, look at this. So after that session, I called Liberian session and say, who is here for Liberia? Because Metro still got more than 7 people on our side with lawyers all negotiating. They don't need your help. What's wrong with you? Just blew up the thing. Then one of them told me, you see this thing you're doing? I mean, that one, the Japanese wanted Wologisi in 1974, they had to leave. I said, did they carry Wologisi? And Wologisi stayed there. I said the price of iron ore in 1974 was lower than it is today because every year a depletable resource becomes scarce. It reduces in quantity and therefore, scarcity affects price. The price goes up. So I said that person who did it did well. So when we came back, in fact, chiefs, I heard chiefs from Nimbaka and the people talking to them on the radio. They said our own soul causing that trouble, that making it difficult for medicine to start. We needed to be tough at that time. But even as weak as the agreement was that you compromised, as it was, it called for Metro Steel to rehabilitate all of the houses that Lamco built. They took over a concession area that they didn't have to build houses for workers. The houses were already there. Solid cement walls are there. But you go to Area F today that had the largest, maybe the largest swimming pool in West Africa at the time. It was an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The houses were there. Up, you go there, you see the walls. I just went there the other day, 2 months ago, and I see thick forest with the bush all over the place. They are now rehabilitating the place. Very few camps are being rehabilitated. But I saw not just container, but I saw storage building containers. Before you reach open door, 1, 2, 3. Why are you bringing containers that you will take back when your concession ends instead of improving the facilities there that could remain even if the mining operation ends? You see, the one example of fixing facilities in the area to make them available for Liberia government's use in the future, or for the people use in the future, is what is happening at African Bible College. I was very surprised. You go to African Bible College, you think you're in Europe. It still maintains what Lamco used to have. Well taken care of. They cut their grass. Oh, you in Yikepa, they're not cutting the grass. It looks like an abandoned town. Whereas when you go to African Bible University right there, you see a very neat place.
Do you have issue with the team of senators who went recently to
Yes,
do an
I do.
assessment? What is your problem?
They should be, if they want to see the place, and the statements some of them are making, all the people are doing well. How can you see the facilities, Yikepa, unless they say they stop in Zolowi and then go to Yikepa? But if they want to Yikepa, nobody can come from Yikepa and say that company is doing well. Right? They should invite and then where were the Nima senators? I understand the Nima senators were not part of that trip.
They were not part of the joint committee.
Well, I'll be surprised that 2 senators from one county in which the project is located will not be part of a joint committee, even if not. I think good sense, good judgment will say, look, we are going to your country, we want you to be part of this. All right? It didn't happen. And so it's creating all kind of suspicion of personal interest and different things. Especially all this rumor, because like this is Liberian rumor that some senators, some lawmakers are also in business deal with some of the companies around and Metro Steel providing them trucks and all that. These are things that I think that the LECC, the ombudsman, and all these people should go into, because it shows conflict of interest because their role is to oversee what government does. Government has a concession agreement with this company. If there's any senator that has a business deal with Metal Steel, that, in my view, that whole business deal is not in the interest of Liberian people. Because why would you? It shows conflict of interest. You should be overseeing what they are doing, and you are doing business. Anytime there's competition between personal interest and public interest, personal interest can prevail. So you should not have people having people in government, and they should be investigated. You journalists should do investigative reporting to find out who in government got contract with these companies, whether trucking or anything. They print journalists and all that. That's a public interest issue, because if they have, then of course they will not be in a good moral position to actually be critical.
But
because
is there any law that ban a lawmaker from doing business?
Under the code of conduct, you are not supposed to be doing business with any aspect of the Liberian economy that you have a responsibility to supervise. Like you can be LPRG managing director and have gas station, right?
Okay.
And for lawmakers, they have a holistic obligation to the nation. They are overseeing everything, so they can't have personal interest, unless they're running sharp. But to do business with a company that Liberian government has an agreement with, in my view, is conflict of interest.
Well, so what do you want the legislature to do now? Well, the team that went there said we are going to do an assessment, to do investigation based on Senator Tiawan's communication, according to them, and they went and did the assessment. Why you think it's a problem?
That one senator raised an issue, and a whole group of senators went there. We're looking up to their report. I know that.
Are you demanding a report?
They
from
should
that
make
visit?
the report public, because Tiawan made a statement. Made a public statement, and the people of Liberia have a right to know. Under Article 15, 15C of the Constitution is clear. The people of Liberia have a right, not privilege, to know about the government and its functionaries. What are the government doing? What are the different people in government doing? When they act on behalf of the Liberian people are going to the place, they have an obligation to make public their assessment. That report must be to us, because we are the one paying them, and they didn't go there for themselves. If they don't do that, they will create all kinds of suspicions.
Okay. Yeah, so we have like 13 minutes to 10 o'clock. So, do you have any comment to make on the president's address at the UNGA?
The president's address, generally, at least, he made some promises that there's time to, he said it's time to deliver, right? So we look up to that. Yeah, the good thing, at least, the one thing I pick up and I applaud him for is that he asked the international community to support the War on Economic Crimes Court. That is a very important issue right now. All right, that's a very important issue, and that's the place to make that kind of request, the World Forum. So it was a very good thing. In fact, I was discussing yesterday with the Executive Secretary of the War on Economic Crimes Secretariat, and we're both saying this is something to applaud. The president did well to bring this issue up, because we don't have a lot of money to take care of this situation, and we need the world support, moral, political, and financial support. So he did well by raising that issue.
Council, just in 1.5 minutes, your county, Nimba, there's been this, people think it's a brewing political rivalry. The Senator Koga has been back and forth with the vice president, claiming that he's been marginalized in the county as a senator, and he believed there should be, equal participation in the political activities in the county. This thing has been going back and forth. We understand there was even a meeting with some chiefs from the county. How much have you said about that? We haven't heard.
No, I haven't said anything, but I really refrain talking
Say
about
something about that.
I refrain talking about
Why?
Nimba County. All I say is,
Why you refrain
the good
talking
thing
about
is,
Nimba County?
the only thing I would say, don't you take callers to chap each other. But the late Joe Mobile used to say, joy is better than war. So people are putting their points of view. That's what happens in democracy. Democracy cannot be vibrant without disagreement. Okay. So it's good that they are talking. They must not go down to being physical. But let them keep talking. It's all right. At least they're not hiding their feelings. They're expressing their feelings. That's good for democracy. It's something that should be applauded. They're talking, right?
Okay.
Let them do their work, but talking is good. Different points of view.
Okay, Councillor Tiawan Saye Gonglle is here with us this morning. We will take some calls on the two key issues we talk about.
Before you go further, got a general topic. I still have this campaign I'm making for President Bouaka to cut off graduation fees. Why do I say so? People are asking me now for graduation fees, then some people are asking for school fees. I prefer helping with school fees. This graduation fee is really ridden with corruption, because the
for secondary school or even colleges and universities.
Even kindergarten, they got graduation fees. $75, some more. Elementary school, every stage of graduation has graduation fee. It's new. It's creating so much burden for the country, and our constitution says that the government librarian must make it easy for all the children. It's an obligation to educate Liberian children. That's a bottleneck. And the president has been issuing an executive order. I strongly believe one executive order from the president, no graduation fees. Because they have big tuitions from the private schools. Whatever you want is in the tuition, but the fee that if they put a $450 or $550 in the tuition, it will make their schools, difficult. A lot of people will not go to their school. So it's not fair. They let you pay low tuition. At the end of the period the child is in the school graduation, they don't discuss it with the PTA. They just come $450. It is, and then they don't give even a bag of water to the graduates on graduation day or to the parents. I think it's not. President Bouaka didn't pay graduation fee. I didn't pay. None of my brothers and sisters
paid graduation fee.
No.
Okay.
It's a new thing. When we're in the senior class, we decided at LU, my class said, we'll buy classroom. The university had nothing to do with that. I didn't buy classroom. I didn't have money. Souvenir, I didn't buy it. It didn't start my graduation because I met the basic requirement of graduating from University of Liberia. But the school collecting graduation fee, for me, is a hindrance to education in this country.
Okay. Collecting graduation fees, hindrance to education in the country.
And then we should cut down the huge salary, the speaker, the president pro tem, and member of the House of Representatives. Because one member of the House of Representatives told me yesterday, look, we are making about $15,000 when you add all our things together per month, right? Some said not 15,000. So
one was just telling me is 5,000 net.
Okay, so all that, all the different, the best way, and I'm calling upon the government, publish the salaries and benefits of government officials in the newspaper, put it on the internet, let it go on the executive marshal website, so we can know what is the salary of the president, the vice president, the speaker, the chief justice, the president pro tem, everybody, and then put the civil service salary against it. Let's see what will happen. Because there are some people whose salary will take a civil servant 8 to 9 years to make 1 month's salary of. which is that kind of disparity doesn't make sense.
Okay, yes, the calls we'll take will be very few, so you can just speak straight to the point about at least just 30, 40 seconds because we're almost out of time. You know, sharp 10 o'clock is another program here. So call 0777700 995 995. I'm seeing this one going off. 0777700 995 995 0555 995 995. Alternative number because of this. Let me see. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Anthony Robert Pine, and let me say good morning to Professor Gonglle. He was my professor at the law school.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I disagree with Professor Gonglle on a couple of points. One, alleging rape does not automatically amount to probable cause for police to arrest. One thing the police must first do in rape cases is to first put the accused on the scene of the crime. So if somebody alleged rape, the police must first establish that the time and venue of which that rape was committed, the accused should be put on the scene of the crime. That's one. Number two, the police must also endeavor to connect the victim with the accused. In the instant case where the police find it difficult to put the accused on the scene of the crime, the police must now endeavor to connect the victim with the accused through other communication and so forth. If that does not also happen, then the police can move what we call character evidence, because character evidence in sexual offense cases may lie in what they may mention for before in sexual offense cases. The police can go for that. If that also does not happen, the police can also move into what we call DNA testing. Now, in this instant case, I'm hearing that the day and time in which the victim is alleging that she was raped, the accused was saying, I was not around, so the accused has an alibi. So the police have not been able to put that accused on the scene of the crime. The police also checking call logs to establish whether this accused can be connected with this victim through communication. My understanding also that now also happening. The police also going into character evidence, whether the man have been involved into rape cases before, or whether he have been involved into sexual offense cases before. The police also doing that. Now they move now to DNA testing to establish, because DNA testing, there are two things they must go for. Because rape is not just by using penis to penetrate. You can also use objects, or you can also use any part of your body to penetrate to cause rape. So when you go for DNA testing, you must, let me just conclude this point, Chief. So when you go for DNA, the police go for DNA testing, they're not just testing for cement, they're also testing for scratches, because the likelihood that if he didn't use his penis to penetrate, he may also use his finger for penetration.
All right,
so,
Chief, thank you. The time, yes.
Called for arrest.
All right, thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm more definitely looking down to do it. Let me say,
You're sounding too low.
I can't hear that, man.
Yeah, you're sounding too low. Let me take this one. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Oh, I'm not also getting this person. Let me take this one. Good morning. You're live on the show. Good morning.
good morning, Maka David. My
Morning.
name is Tiawan Saye, and I call from Monrovia.
Okay.
Maka, I want the councillor to please clarify. Like, we know that rape cases are non-bailable. So when is it non-bailable? Is it at the police or at the court? Please, councillor, please clarify. Thank you.
All right. So I'm sorry we can't take more calls because we are almost out of time. So let's just go to council and respond to the
Okay, so
potential
look.
callers.
Because rape is non-bailable, when the police arrest you, you have to be in a police custody. Once the police has probable cause to arrest you, police will take you and put you in custody. And then when the police charges you and send you to court, you are in a system, and the police can even get additional, evidence. I told a teacher in the police academy one time, I say, when the case is on at the magisterial level, it hasn't even gone to grand jury, you can still get more evidence, because when it goes to the grand jury will do thorough examination to determine whether or not the person should be indicted. And that is why sometimes you can be free after preliminary examination at the up to preliminary examination is not available in rape cases at the magisterial court. But yes, for non-billable cases, once, and the reason why they say non-billable is because of the chance of escape. The first non-billable cases we had before rape was added were treason, murder, and things like that. So, but treason, murder, and statutory rape have the same risk of escape because both of them call for maximum penalty of life imprisonment. I mean, all three of them. So, people are looking for excuses that they don't make for people in West Point or Logan Town or any poor person, any unknown person. There is no justification. My former student Khan is a very staunch partisan. We had disagreement in class most times. Even on the question of my view on tenure position, he had a different view. And he's trying to make excuse for one of his colleague partisans. That's all right to do it, but that does not mean that we should circumvent the law. A country of law must follow the law procedure in every case, not in some cases. Go read Coma versus RL. Coma won the United 1898. There was no DNA here, man. So you find all kinds of circumstances. In Coma versus Republic, they said once the lady say you raped me, and they are corroborating evidence like the scratch on the woman's skin, the torn dress. In this case, at that time they were not even doing medical tests. They're going to do test to show that the police say yes, we can establish that she was raped, and she said he raped me. He should be behind the bars. They're trying to do the defense. The police is trying to do the defense work, which it shouldn't do.
Well, Council, thank you. It's a minute past 10. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yes, Councillor Tiawan Gonglle with us this morning on the OK Morning Rush. Thanks to all of you who joined us by following OK TV and also by radio across the country and other institutions who relayed the program. Thanks for joining us, being here with Fatu Kamara and our producer, Blessing Rejoice Nimle. Been doing a wonderful work here. It's been wonderful. Thanks for joining. We'll be here tomorrow morning again with another edition of the show. Have yourself a wonderful time. Bye-bye.